Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's video, I'm going to do a different type of analysis which the traders out there will be able to identify, because a lot of people have been asking me, where do we go from here? In the last video, I said quite clearly that the level to look out for was because of this strong rejection here and this strong support here. And if you take that line or that range to incorporate this point and that point there, this resistance and that support, you'll see that $42,000 was the obvious level that we're going to come against some resistance there. That's exactly what we've done here. So the question now is, where do we go from here? Do we go to the higher side or do we go to the bottom side? So I'll be doing an analysis based from a trader's point of view, what he would look at this, to give you just a different perspective. All the people out there who do YouTube videos will give you their opinion of what's happened, but I'm just going to give a trader's opinion, as well as a longer term analysis of Bitcoin, as I normally do, with looking at the various different factors to build up a picture of where we could be heading in the next few days and weeks. I'll be giving you a magnificent story on how you can value yourself, and wherever you are on that value range, you can increase your value by looking at this story that I'm going to tell you. It's absolutely life transforming for those people who really want to get on in life and be the best they can and realize their true potential. So if that sounds interesting, then without further ado, don't forget it's Sunday. It's time for your treat. It's time for your Snickers bar. Get your cups of teas, eyes on the screen, and let's get cracking. So before I begin the analysis, I want to just touch on what I said in the last video to bring you up to date. So what happened was that we had this breakout last weekend around here. And I said at the time, if you look at the volume was really not there, and we were trying to ascertain whether this was a fake out or a breakout. And up to that point, this volume here was very similar to this volume here, which was basically going sideways. So there wasn't much volume to really talk of. However, during the week, from Monday onwards, the volume increased, as you can see here. Having said that, that volume still wasn't the types of volumes we were getting when we were going up here from around November, December and January levels. So as you can see, the volumes are much greater than this little volume here. So yes, this is better volume. It's not really a fake out, but it's not really volume based either, which tells me a story that maybe this rally hasn't got the volume momentum to actually take it much higher than where we are. And when we look at the analysis from a trader's point of view, you'll get a picture that maybe not all seems what it is here. Yes, it's bullish, and yes, in the medium to long term, we're more likely to go up rather than down. However, in the short term, I'm going to have a look at this analysis and tell you that, in my opinion, this may be a strong resistance point from which we actually come back down a little bit rather than go up. Yes, the possibility is always there to go up. We're talking about probabilities. Always remember, investments are all about probabilities, not certainties. There's no guarantees which way they will go. But what we can do is, by looking at the charts, we can ascertain that with a high degree of probability what the market will do. And when you do your wider research, and please remember, everything in this video is for educational purposes only, and do not take anything in this video or any of my videos as financial advice. Please do your wider research before making any investment decisions. This is just my perspective, one person's perspective. And I'm not 100% correct all the time, and I'm not 100% wrong all the time. I get it wrong sometimes, I get it right sometimes. And it's your duty and responsibility to do your wider research and find out from your sources before making any decisions. So what would a trader be looking at here to ascertain where we go from this point where we've just hit a long-term trend line here, as well as we've broken out of this descending wedge in the last week? Well, whenever I need an extra Snickers bar and I need to trade, then one of the strategies that I do use is what I call the double top divergence strategy. So this trading strategy is based on two different time frames. So what I normally do is I go on the higher time frame, like the daily chart, and I look at the bigger picture, as I can see there, and I try to ascertain very strong resistance and support points. And here, as I've already drawn for you here, is that when we came up in this rally, we got strongly rejected here. So that will give me my first point. We got very strongly supported here. That gives me a second point. And then this point, obviously, when it came back down, hung around for a few days. That tells me that this line here is going to be very strong resistance and support. So I basically draw this in first, like I've done already for you there. And then I go to the 1 hour chart. So this is the bar, basically from the $42,000 to $43,000 mark. And as I've said in the many videos before, that we're going to come across a very strong resistance around the 42,000 mark. That was the key level, at which point I'm expecting a rejection or a correction. Okay, so on the 1 hour chart now, as you can see, when we zoom out, we can see that we broke this trend line here from the previous few months. We came back and tried to get support on it, and then basically did this. This is a classic stairway rise to the top here. So what we got was, we got a rise here, bull flag, rise, bull flag, rise, another bull flag, rise, bull flag, and rise, and now we've got another bull flag. Now the question is, along the way we didn't have any resistance, but now we've got it here at the $42,000 mark. Are we going to basically create this bull flag and then go right through it? Well, let me do the analysis for you. Okay, let's zoom in on this part here. So one of the ways a trader would look at this would be that now we've got this long-term resistance and support line drawn in this box here. The first time we came into this box was with this candle here, with this green candle. So what we do is we draw a box from the top of the bodies of the candle here to the top of the wick on this first entry into this box, this resistance and support line that we drew on the 1 day chart. Once we've drawn our box here from the tops of the candle, as you can see here quite clearly, this is the top of the box, this is the top of the wicks. So you've got this box here now. And so what we do is, once we establish that, we wait for the price to come back down and then move back up to retest this top that we've created here with another top called the double top. And if we get a candle within this box, a wick or a body of the candle, and then it gets rejected, then we can be quite confident the fact that with a high degree of probability that we're going to be going down rather than up. As long as a candle doesn't close above the box here, which this one has done. However, what we do is, if we do have a candle that breaks above the box and closes there on the 1 hour chart, then we wait for the next candle after that to see if it's going to be a green or a red candle. And if it's a green candle, so if this candle had been a green candle, I would have switched over from being bearish around here to bullish. So a trader would have taken his trade, if this was a green candle, at the close of this green candle here. However, as you can see, the candle that closed above this box here that we've drawn is a red candle. So that tells you the story that there isn't enough momentum, that having had this green candle close above this box here, we haven't got enough momentum to carry it through to the upside. And as a result, as you can see, the sellers came in and it's now pushed it down. And the question is, where do we go from here? So from a trader's point of view, he wouldn't take this trade to the upside. He would more than likely take a short here on the close of this candle. So from here, at this point, at 42,071, he would take a trade down, expecting at least a profit down to this level here, 41,000, which would have given him from this candle here, where he would have taken the trade, around about a 2.5% profit. And obviously, if you're playing with leverage, if you do that on 10 times, you've got a quick 20% profit there. So certainly, I'm expecting the price to at least test this level here in the next few hours, and what have you, at around about the 41,062. So we're on 41,800. I'm expecting this to go down to at least the 41,000 and to retest this level here. Should we break that, and the levels we're looking at, we can determine by the Fibonacci retracement here. So let's zoom out and do a Fibonacci retracement to give you a very strong indicator as to where the levels might be. So if we take the Fibonacci retracement from this bottom here that we reached recently at about 29,300 to where we've just got to at 42,600 level. I'll move this box to the left here so you can see the numbers quite clearly here. I would expect 3 levels here. The first one would be the 38.2 level. So I would certainly expect a correction at around about the 37,700 level. So this point here, I'll draw it in. The next level would be the 50% Fibonacci retracement at 36,100. And the final level would be the 61.8, the level that Bitcoin has a very strong affinity to, and that would be around about the 34,600 level. So there we have it. We've got these 3 levels, which I'm now expecting Bitcoin to get rejected at this point here at the 42,000 level and make its way at least to the 38.2% level at 37,000. And if we can break that, there is a very strong possibility and a good probability that we'll go down to the next level at the 50% level, which is at 36,000. It may not be that we go down to the 61.8 level down here at 34,000, but it would be very healthy for the price to come back down to these levels at 61.8 before we move on there. And that would create a nice double bottom, and that would create a very good fuel for the market to go to much higher levels. On the upside, if we were to break this 42,000 strong resistant point here, then we would look at the next levels on the Fibonacci retracement, which would be, if we take the levels from this last all-time high, which was at 64,000, down to the bottom here, where it reached 28,500, that would give us our levels at the 46,800 on the 50% level, and at the 61.8 we would get to around about the 51,000 mark up here. So this is where we would be looking at the next levels here, at around about the 47,000 levels to 51,000. Only time will tell, but these are the levels I'll be looking for in the next few days and weeks, and see how that plays out. If we have a look at the pivots, today's the 1st of August, so the new monthly pivots will have come out. And what do the pivots tell us? Well, as we've seen in the past, we haven't had a look at this in the last few videos, but I used to show you this very regularly in the past. We normally hit the R1 line. So this month, the R1 line is, would you believe it, at the 46,000 level here, which is what the Fibonacci retracement is telling us. So it may well be we go and hit this somewhere during the month of August. However, as you can see below us, we've got a pivot point at exactly 37. And as I showed you in the Fibonacci retracement, that is at the 38.2 level. So I am expecting this to come back to at least the 37,000 level, if not the level below it, which is the S1 line. And guess where that is? It's at 33,000, which is where the 61.8 level is approximately. So it may well be we go to either 1 or 2 levels down before we go and hit the 46,000. Only time will tell, but these are the levels we are looking at in the next few days and weeks. For those of you who've got an interest in chart patterns will have noticed something. If you take the line from here, you can see that this is what we call a bump and run pattern. So we'll have a look at Bulkowski on the bump and run reversal bottom pattern. So it normally comes at the bottom of a pattern, which is exactly what we've got here. And it says here, quite clearly the bump and run reversal bottom is a chart pattern that is a surprisingly good performer in both bull, ranking best for performance, and bear markets, ranking second best. It has a low break-even failure rate and high average rise after the breakout. So what we've got is this line here, which I've just drawn on the chart, and this chart pattern here. When it comes to the neckline at this point, we'd expect it to go up. So basically, this is what we've got here. We've got the 2 points at the top here, then we've got this deep chart pattern here, and we've now just come to this breakout point. The question is, normally we'd get a breakout, come back to the support line here, which is the old resistance, and use that as support before we go to the upside. But as I said a few minutes ago, this is a very strong resistant point. So it may well be that we get rejected at this point here. We come back to whatever level and then retest this and then do this again. This, which is basically breakout, come back, use the old resistance as support, and then we go. That's what I would be expecting from this. But certainly, this is a very strong breakout pattern, and it's only a matter of time before we actually break out. And people who are bearish still, thinking that we might still go lower, below the 28 mark here, I think are going to be disappointed. Of course, it can go much lower, but I would say now that the probability is very, very low, even to the point of being less than 10%, that we're now going to come back down, retest these levels, and then go further down. I really think that's highly unlikely. On to our very important indicator, which is the 21 weekly exponential moving average, which is this yellow line here. As I said at the time when we broke this, we needed to maintain support on this line. However, as soon as we broke down, this was going to become a very bearish period of time here. Well, just this week, we've now got back above this line here, above the 39,000. I said in the last week we needed to get above this line to give us a lot more confidence that the bull market is back on track again. Well, this is this week's, and we're on Sunday, so UK time 1 o'clock, this candle should close. As long as it closes above the 39,000, which is about here, 39,600, we should be good to go in the next week or so towards the upside. But if you look to the left here, as you can see, when we've fallen down and spend a little bit of time and get back up again, it doesn't mean we're going to stay above it all the time. It doesn't mean that that's it. As you can see from here, it will consolidate around this 21 weekly exponential moving average, and it may test these lower levels again before moving back up again. And then we had this COVID situation. Since then, that was the start of this big bull rally that we had here. So keep your eye on that. As long as we maintain above the 39,500 tonight at 1 o'clock UK time, then we should be okay to go further. However, expect it to be testing the lower levels, as we mentioned in the analysis, around the $37,000 to $34,000 level before we go back up above it, and on we go again. And if we have a look at the simple moving averages on the daily chart, as I've mentioned in many of the previous videos, that we needed to really get above the 200 daily moving average. That would really signal a reversal trend. And currently that is at 44,000. So we haven't got there quite yet, but we're certainly moving in the right direction. And that would tell me that this is the point at which we now moved into the uptrend. Because if you look left here, when we broke out below it, that was really the start of the sideways pattern that we had in the last couple of months. And the other thing you may notice down here is that the yellow line here, the 20 simple moving average, is now crossing above the 50 daily moving average. So this is looking very bullish now. So in the next week or two, we would expect generally the price of Bitcoin to be going much, much higher. But in the short term, I'm expecting a correction before we do that. Another factor that's contributing to my opinion in the charts that we're topping out at this 42,000 level is that if you look at the TD sequential, we're on a 9 on the daily chart. And as soon as we hit the 9 here, as you can see, we made a good strong rally here up to the 9. And then all of a sudden at the 42,000, we've now gone sideways. So this tells me that we may be topping out. Yes, this is a bull flag, and this bull flag would normally be going in the upper direction. But because of the various reasons, as I mentioned already in this analysis, I'm expecting the price to go down. And the TD sequential, being a 9 here, is telling me that the heat of this rally has been taken out. The steam, the momentum is now falling down. And if we look at the RSI as well as the stochastic RSI on the daily chart, we can see that at this point here, we are in the oversold territory. This doesn't mean that it can't go up. Obviously it can, and this then will then start going sideways and slightly higher before it comes down. However, as you can see, it is an oversold position that we've got at this moment here. And then the stochastic RSI, as you can see from here, the blue signal line is now pointing to the downward direction. So it may well be that now the direction for the price would be going more higher on the propensity side to the downside rather than to the upside. And if we go to the BLX chart on the weekly time frame, I've been showing you this particular chart and saying that of all the charts, this is the most important chart for the next few years, never mind the next few days, weeks and months. And I've been showing you that we have found support at these levels. And this is a trend line that's been going back to the 2010, 2011 mark. So it's a very strong trend line. It would have taken a very special effort to have broken this down. And that's why I was quite confident that we've reached our bottom around the 28,000 mark. And now we've used this as a support to go higher. The main thing to take away from here is that we've got these 3 lines. The next level to look out for would be on this blue line here, which stretches all the way back to 2011, where we found support here, support at various points, support which broke down, and resistance at this point. And we're going to be coming up to this line anywhere around here, and there will be a big correction, I would expect, anywhere as soon as we hit this blue line. That could be at 150,000 or 200,000, the way the price is moving at the moment. So please draw these lines on your BLX chart. Don't get distracted by a lot of the YouTubers who look at things only on a short-term basis. It will end up getting you wrecked. The most important chart is this long-term chart, and this is where you can make your better big-term decisions around here. If we have a look at the EMA ribbons on the daily chart, we can see quite clearly that we've gone past the ribbons, broken through, and it may well be that we come back and retest them here at around about the 38,000 mark. Certainly it's looking very bullish now that we've broken through the daily EMA ribbons. So in a nutshell, we need to get past this very strong 42,000 neckline. Once we get past this here, we're good to go back towards the bull market and bring it to its conclusion in the next few months. However, in the short term, we may see a correction down to 34, 35, 36 level, 37,000 levels, around those levels, before we retest this neckline and then move on. So only time will tell, but certainly the picture is looking very, very bright for Bitcoin in the medium to long term. And on to our fantastic wisdom bites for today. This will totally transform your life, just like all the wisdom bites that I do. They're all life transforming. If you're the type of person who likes to work on yourself, and you would be if you're a person who wants to become successful on any measure of success. My speciality in life is for personal development. This is what I have a real passion for, and that's why I do these wisdom bites. And in today's video, I'm asking the question, how much do you think you're worth? And why this question is absolutely critical. Because if you think that you are worth not very much, whatever that figure might be, then guess what? That is exactly what you will be worth. If you genuinely think that you are worth a lot, then I can assure you that you have a very high probability that you will be worth a lot in your life. And it all depends on your mindset, on your thinking. And whatever you think on those lines will become your reality. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a wonderful story which will totally transform your life and the perspective you have of looking at this particular subject matter. Today's story is called The Priceless Stone. Once you've watched the video, please leave a comment below the video. I really would love to hear what you think of this story. One day, a young boy asked his father what is the value of his life. Instead of answering, the father told him to take this rock and go and sell it at the market. If anybody asks the price, raise 2 fingers and don't say anything. The boy then went to the market and a woman asked, "How much is this rock? I want to put it in my garden." The boy didn't say anything and raised up 2 fingers. And the woman said, "Oh, $2, I'll take it." And the boy went home and told his father, "A woman wants to buy this rock for $2. The father then said, "Son, I want you to take this rock to a museum. If anybody wants to buy it, don't say a word and just put up 2 fingers. The boy then went to a museum and a man wanted to buy the rock. The boy didn't say a word and put up 2 fingers. And the man said, "Oh, $200, I'll take it." The boy was shocked and went running home. "Father, a man wants to buy this rock for $200. His father then said, "Son, the last place I want you to take this rock is to a precious stone store. Show it to the owner and don't say a word. And if he asks the price, just put up 2 fingers." The son then went to a precious stone store. He showed the rock to the owner. "Where did you find this stone?" he said. "It is one of the most rarest stones of the world. I must have it. How much would you sell it for?" The boy put up 2 fingers and the man said, "I'll take it for $200,000. The boy, not knowing what to say, ran home to his father. "Father, there is a man who wants to buy the rock for $200,000. His father then said, "Son, do you know the value of your life now? You see, it doesn't matter where you come from, where you were born, the color of your skin, or how much you were born into. It matters where you decide to place yourself, the people you surround yourself with, and how you choose to carry yourself. You may have lived your whole life thinking you were a $2 stone. You may have lived your whole life surrounded by people that saw your worth only for $2. But everybody has a diamond inside of them. And we can choose to surround ourselves with people that see our value and see our diamond inside of us. We can choose to put ourselves in a market or put ourselves in a precious stone store. And you can also choose to see the value in other people. You can help other people see the diamond inside of them. Choose the people you surround yourself with wisely. That can make all the difference in your life. I hope you enjoyed that. So, how much do you think you are worth? Just like the story, it all depends on where you want to place yourself and who you want to surround yourself with. So if you found value in this analysis and in the story, please remember to like and subscribe and to turn on the notification bell. And if you want to leave any comments, questions or suggestions, then please leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.